Hi, I'm Joy and I'm here to talk about my research in computer science. This video is for CS194 students and for aspiring computer science researchers. My research topic is not just one topic, but everything is related to Algorithms and Complexity Lab. So ever since I started research, I am already in the Algorithms and Complexity Lab. So nag-start ako as an undergraduate student back then, and my research area is on bioinformatics. So bioinformatics is the marriage between biology and computer science. And since it's a multidisciplinary research, the source of the problem is coming from biology, and then yung solution naman will be coming from computer science. And my second topic naman is about parallel algorithms. So for parallel algorithms, it's just one type of an algorithm that utilizes multiple computers. Either multiple computers talaga na physically different computers. It could be multiple threads running on CPU, or it could be threads running on the graphics processing unit. So for my masteral thesis and majority of my MS days, I am working on parallel algorithms that run on GPU. And of course, the problem that I was solving back then was still from bioinformatics. Specifically, that particular problem is identifying repeated patterns from genomes. So if you're interested, it's called the multi-finding problem. Okay, so after doing something on parallel algorithms, nagpunta naman ako to a very, very specific type of algorithms applied to those problems that are considered hard. And usually, ito yung mga problems na exponential yung running time for you to be optimal. But ang approach ng specific type of algorithm na yon was kahit na mabilis siyang mag-run, it can guarantee the quality of the solution. And that type of algorithms are called approximation algorithms. Usually, yung mga algorithms na yun are greedy algorithms, but not all. So, hindi lang ito with respect to a specific dataset, but for all types of dataset that is feasible as an input. And for my most recent topic, it's called Online Computation with Advice. For online computation, the input isn't whole, pero kailangan mo na sagutin. So, yung idea ng advice is an additional power to this particular type of computation. If you're doing something on theoretical computer science with algorithm design as part of the main result, what I am doing is, number one, of course, define the problem. Second, do an RRL. So for the RRL, you need to survey the algorithms for that problem, identify the quality, identify the time complexity, sometimes the space complexity, but recently hindi siya ganun ka-important because space complexity is cheaper nowadays. And then compare and identify the best so far algorithm for that problem. Aside from algorithm design, sometimes it's very important to know the complexity of the problem. So what you can do is to assess whether the modification of the problem definition can lead to an easier problem or a harder problem. And then if it's an easier problem, what's the solution? If it's a harder problem, then ano yung solution? Important to know na yung pagre-research is all about answering questions. And in terms of answering question, dapat meron ka ding process how you do it. And the process that I used to do is to have a structured system of asking questions. So number one, you need to list down all of the facts that you know. So for theoretical computer science, you need to identify all your variables, identify all the known theorems about those variables, identify the lemmas, observation, etc. And then you can start asking questions. If you list down all your questions, you can answer each, diba? Tapos, if you have an answer for each of those, you can collate all of your answers and then you can deduce something. After that, dadami yung mga alam mo about that particular area or about that particular topic. And then, hindi siya usually nag-end with those answers, usually more questions, and then you just need to limit hanggang saang level ka magtatanong ng questions and pag-answer ng mga questions na yun. You need to do it every time. You need to list down everything that you know, verify if you really understood what you know about the problem, and ask questions. Basically yun. And then you just need to document it. My way of documenting it is through LaTeX. So the key here is to document everything. So okay naman kung if you have notes on your own, but ang reality talaga is that you share it to everyone else. There's a lot of ways how you can share your result, and yung mga ways na yun could be as simple as creating a poster at bibigay yun sa lab, and then if there are visitors coming in, you can explain the content of your research. Next is you can submit the results in a conference. And then, kapag nadagdagan mo pa ng more results yung conference paper, then you can also submit it in a journal. And then, kapag medyo mas marami na yung research mo about that specific topic at nagiging research area na siya, you can actually write a book about it. Okay, so what are the challenges in doing research? If your research is on the data-driven type of research, problem will be the data. So, one way to solve this problem is by utilizing benchmark datasets that are publicly available online. However, if you wanted to have a partner agency, yung key component nun is your partnership with a key agency that will provide you with the data. So sometimes may mga researchers that they do the data collection themselves, pero you still need the domain expertise for the data source. And then for the second type of research naman, which is on theoretical computer science, ang problem ko usually dun is getting stuck to a particular question. Sometimes kasi medyo malaki yung question. So what you need to do is to break it down to smaller questions and then answering the smaller questions and then just collate kapag meron ka na yung sagot sa mga smaller questions. Another thing na pwede ring mangyari is called looping. Yun yung if you try to answer a particular question and then yung sagot mo sa question mo are your preliminaries or yung mga alam mo na statements, then you are on a loop. So you need to get out of that loop by sometimes it's just a matter of parang mindset or state of the mind. So you need to rest for a while and then go back to the problem with fresh eyes. Okay? So ano pa yung mga other challenges? Ang misconception is that research is an individual work, but in reality, it is a collaborative work. Work between the co-authors of a paper. So, hindi lang co-authors of a paper, but within a project, or pwedeng thesis mate, or a collaboration work with your advisor. So, nakakatulong dito to have a discussion body. So, yung discussion body mo will try to assess kung tama ba yung understanding mo, and will also be your number one kaaway in terms of identifying the truth about your research area. Okay, so another challenge is the publication rejection. So it's very common. Usually yung mga successful in the first few stages ng kanilang research publication is just because hindi ganun ka specific yung conference venue. So there are different tiers of conferences. So sometimes there are forgiving conferences, and then there are really good conferences na medyo mahirap i-infiltrate. Another challenge is research direction. Pero usually, masasagot ng advisor ang research direction mo. Okay, so you really need to know who your research advisor is. Okay? Another challenge na very, very common is because totoo naman to sa lahat ng research, no one knows the answer sa mga questions po sa research. Kasi if someone knows it, then hindi na siya research, baka dapat i-google na lang natin. Lastly, my message for aspiring computer science researchers. Number 1, identify an area of interest. An area that you are really interested. Kasi at least sa akin, it works na very interested ako dun sa area. So, yung curiosity ko, siya yung nag-drive sa akin to push forward kahit na medyo mahirap. So, second is, read research papers, and that research papers are in that specific area of interest. And then, if you wanted to know about a certain topic, you can start with yung mga tinatawag na survey papers. Your advisor will be able to give you the survey paper, but of course, it's Googleable naman. So, if you're interested with a topic, you can check for survey paper for something. So usually, yung mga nag-create ng survey papers are those that are already in the research area. So, usually, sila rin yung mga authors ng mga papers na nasa top of the game. So, next is identify a research mentor. Kasi yung research mentor nyo knows about the landscape of the research for that particular area. So, mag-guide ka ng research mentor mo on what paper to read, who to follow, and if you're stuck, may masasuggest sa inyo ng paraan how to get out of it. And then lastly, of course, stay curious and then keep learning, kasi kahit naman yung mga magagaling na researchers, marami pa rin hindi alam about things, and kaya nagko-continue pa rin yung research kasi marami pa tayong hindi alam. So keep learning and keep moving forward.